Scene Daddy Interviews.
All right, everyone. Welcome to Scene Daddy Interviews. I am here right now with the legend, Kevin Lyman. Hey, I have to. Kevin, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good. I just got back from New York, and flight was a little late and running around, and we're going to the premiere of this documentary Punks that I was part of, like one of the episodes. And
Very cool.
so hustling and getting ready to go back to teaching tomorrow. And, you know, these Warp 25th anniversary shows blew up, and now we're just trying to shuffle around what tickets are left available. I mean, it's going to be, the Atlantic City show is going to be sold out within a couple days.
Very cool. That's really awesome to hear. And I guess really the question right away is, do you ever have any free time?
I'm going to try to next week, let's say. I never thought in my life I'd be saying the word spring break again, but as a professor now, I'm going to have the chance to have a spring break as much as possible, and I can take my new camper van and go out camping with my wife.
Very cool. Well, look, you deserve a little bit of time like that with everything you've been doing. So let me ask you, so obviously the official lineups came out on Friday. How was leading up to that moment, and did you have any fires that you had to put out over the weekend?
Not over the weekend. I mean, it's just leading right up to it. You know, it's a whole different, beast for anyone who does a festival. You know, we've had this touring festival now for 24 years, and and you set up the shows a certain way, you advance them the different way, and now we've got to be, advancing basically three separate events.
Exactly.
And everyone's like, oh, some people were really like, oh, it must be easier. What are you doing with all your spare time? It was harder than putting together the tour.
Oh, okay. Do you mind going into that a little bit? Because obviously there's a difference between the Cleveland date and then New Jersey and California, but why such a difference between putting a full tour together and doing the separate dates now?
Well, when we book for 2 months, you're kind of taking a band out of the marketplace for 2 months, but you're giving them 38 shows.
Right.
So the negotiations go a lot different. Here, we're we're just festival people again,
Right.
It was just, my festival, but your bands are all, they were making their plans for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Europe is a very busy time for a lot of bands. I think, Warped maybe left a bit of a hole out there this summer. So people were kind of, trying to make sure their summers were filled up. And,
for sure.
It was just trying to make everything work. And then some of these people who had their own tours, we were able to get it routed through Warped Tour. You just had to really pay attention. It was just a lot of logistics to figure out.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense that you were really locking down people for such a long time over, 24 years. And then now this one is so different. So I totally get that. Now with the Cleveland show itself, now there's a new exhibit that's being opened at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to go over, Van's Warped Tour and everything. Was that the reason why you chose that as the inaugural event? I think I screwed up inaugural.
That's how we always marketed it. That's how we always marketed it. And I think a lot of people were like, this is what, and I always said it was going to be an event, a party with the opening of the Rock Hall.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a party with like we did 10 years ago when we had our first exhibit.
Right.
It's a great time. You get to go to the exhibit. It's super. It's going to be an in-depth exhibit, so it should be a good day at the Rock Hall. And then you get a concert. You know, we didn't promise anyone a whole Warped Tour, and I know a lot of people are all mad and screaming. But maybe reading would have been, reading a little bit would have helped, because we were very open that said we were going to put together a nice package of bands, which it is a nice package of bands.
Oh, for sure.
And that's why the ticket price was $30.
It's really good. Yeah.
You pay that much to go to a club show now to see bands sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
So you now get an entry to the Rock Hall. We're going to have a emo night event afterwards. It looks like a party with emo night, AP Magazine, and a bunch of people. So it's going to be a fun weekend for the true diehard music fans and good people who appreciate what we've done. Some people were upset, but that's okay. You're always, people are upset that the lineup is, you're never going to make anyone happy. And as soon as you learn that and you do the best you possibly can, the better chances you have to survive in this business more than anything.
Right. Now, I guess that actually does bring up a good question. When did you learn that? What was the experience that told you you're never going to be able to make everyone happy?
Uh, I think that was about 1999.
Okay.
You know, it was
Yeah.
a while back. I don't know the exact year,
Sure.
but I started to realize that, especially when you try to do something and in a good way that was positive, that negative, that feedback, it shows that people were emotionally attached to the tour.
Right.
And they thought it was their own, and they were very vocal about it. So I almost liked some of the negative. I liked the negative feedback when it was intelligent and constructive. But the trolls, when they jump in, still kind of makes you bummed out. But
Yeah.
you learn to move on, and you just keep doing it. And obviously, these lineups we put together are appealing to a certain group of people.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And now I know, obviously, besides the now 25th anniversary of Warped Tour, you also have been in the industry for like almost 40 years now. Maybe, I think, am I right there? Yeah, it's around 40 years.
Well, yeah, 37, 38 years, getting close to 40.
Yeah. Well, obviously very impressive. But one thing that you didn't have to deal with in the past was social media. And then that kind of streamlined in to what you were doing. So as a promoter, as doing everything that you do you find it better now that social media is so prevalent, or did you like it before?
The good and bad, the good and bad. You put it out there, the word spread very quickly.
Yep.
We were looking at our advertising budgets, and it's almost embarrassing how little we had to spend to market these shows because everyone knew how to find us, know?
Yep.
But so that's the good side. The bad side is, like I say, the day you announce your lineup is the worst at best day. You get to announce your lineup, and then those people that you didn't do it right for are going to be the most vocal.
Yeah, right.
And, it was like, oh my gosh, you look at it and go, oh my God, everyone hates the lineup. And then you turn the ticket sales on, and we were almost, we're 23,000 tickets sold already in Atlantic City.
Wow.
12, on our way to 2 sellouts in San Francisco. And you know what? Some people might not like the Rock Hall, and they can sell their tickets to people who do like it, because there's a lot of Simple Plan fans and a lot of Hawthorne Heights fans.
Yeah, Emory. Yeah.
And we've got a couple more announcements to make on that show. We'll do a couple surprises.
Oh, awesome.
Now I can have fun with some stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do have to mention one thing that I definitely enjoyed with the social media accounts is it seemed like, especially for last year, when it was the end of the tour, the touring part of Warped Tour, you kind of let your social media team do whatever they wanted. And I really enjoyed the back and forth when you really let them, you took the gloves off and let people respond to the trolls and the people that were constantly, whining about things and complaining. When was that decision made to allow people to do that?
Pretty much at the beginning,
Okay.
It didn't, I don't know. It really, we probably wasted too much time on it last year.
Well, I guess,
wasted
yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes you're kind of, it's kind of like blowing off steam. I guess it's kind of like blowing off steam in politics.
Mm-hmm.
You can complain about our political system and just blurt it all out, and it's out, and then you feel a little better for a second,
Yeah.
And they work so hard on this stuff, and they work so hard to make these shows work well. And I think people are realizing how hard they work. And, it's that moment they're just kind of blowing off a little steam. Now, some people would say, but it was, never in a vicious way.
Right. Oh, yeah. No, it was never like that. It was just nice for people to kind of understand what everyone had to go through behind the scenes, and to know that you've been putting up with this stuff for years, of people straight up complaining all the time about a Warped Tour lineup. So it's just nice to see that.
We had our second biggest year last year.
Yep.
Turned out to be a lot of fun. We had a great show. We had a great tour, and now we're gonna have a great party in these places.
Absolutely. So can you go into a little bit of how difficult it was, to book these bands? And then also, I know obviously you've done other interviews and you've talked about how difficult it was, but you said basically you reached out to everybody.
Yeah, but we got a little bit of a late start, to be honest, because we were just kind of putting all the details on the venues together, and then we went out. So we didn't really start booking this until right around Christmas time.
Okay.
Whereas normally we would have, the tour booked by Christmas.
Ah, okay.
So we'd be going on sale by then. But, it was definitely a little bit of a late start. Mm-hmm. And I'm really happy with the lineup. There's some people I wish could do it. But you know what? things come up. People had other tours. They were going to Europe. They decided to do a record this summer.
Yeah.
And now a lot of people are calling, going, "Oh man," and I've got friends calling me, going, "Man, we should have done that." And I said, "Well, look, you committed to something else, and I'm always that person that if you commit to something, you should stick with it."
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And obviously, I think a lot of people know you were saving a spot for the Ghost Inside, for whenever they were able to come back. And I thought that was really awesome that you're always willing to do that.
No, that it did. And I, we talked to them, but I guess they, their management decided that there was some other thing they should be doing. So
for sure.
Too bad, but I did call them as soon as I knew they were going to work. I said, "Do you want to be here?" And it just didn't work out. So all good. Hopefully they'll come up and hang out at the show.
Oh, yeah. Now, throughout the years of Warped Tour, have there ever been any bands like that in your mind you would hold spots open for that were maybe your favorites?
Oh, there's a few. There's a few that if they called still today, I would make some room for them.
Ah, okay. But you can't let them know that, because then they could take advantage.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't. You know what? I'm really happy. We were talking with my daughters, and they're excited, and they were, they were like, "Do we have to work?" And I go, "Well, maybe you helped a little bit, but we're gonna." Because they said the lineup's so good, they're looking forward to like Man Overboard and some of those bands that maybe they didn't really get to see.
Right. Yeah, and there's a very significant amount. Obviously, the band span from beginning of Warped Tour towards end of Warped Tour. You did a very good job of hitting lots of different genres and lots of different bands that have been around for a long time. So it worked out pretty well. So okay, so they're looking forward to that then.
Yes, absolutely.
So now with with Warped Tour now being set with the 5 day, 5 days technically. So with that all set, you said there would still possibly be some more announcements coming up. Does that include New Jersey and California as well?
Yeah, we've got a few more bands to announce over the next few weeks.
Oh, okay. So it's not like right before the shows. It's not like June and July. It's more.
I don't know. Maybe we'll wait till June or July now. I don't know. Now we can kind of do whatever we want because it's almost sold out. So we can just have fun over the next few months.
That is very true. Now the question is, I think a lot of people have these same questions. At least let's take Cleveland out. Let's focus on New Jersey and California. Will the tour or the days still be very similar to a Warped Tour day? You go in, you find out what the lineup is like, or because now that they're 2 days in a row, you can actually expand that a little bit more?
Yeah, I think you'll see some expanded sets.
Okay.
I was figuring it out. I think the shortest set's going to be 40 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And there'll be some bands playing maybe an hour on the show.
Oh, all right.
And then, we have to, at some point, we'll break them into who's playing what day. It's pretty premature right now. I'm just kind of running it through some different scenarios, and we might not have to announce who's playing on each day until the day before or something. We'll see what's going on.
Oh, okay.
I just want to have fun. I want everyone to come. The lineup's so good. You're going to want to be there all day long.
That's right. I'd be surprised if people showed up late for the final days of Warped Tour. I think that'd be weird.
Yeah, and then we've got some special announcements for late night parties in Atlantic City. We're getting some of the ballrooms and some of the clubs around town for after parties.
Okay.
So it should be just a great event.
Yeah, it sounds it. I mean, the VIP sounds very appealing as well, and I know you sold out of those very quickly. But obviously, being to as many Warped Tours as I've been, and obviously that you have been to, you realize that it's very good to have an air-conditioned area and places to, get out of the sun.
I've never been big on that because we've never done it, but they have a place there and they have it all set up. They're going to have this venue's being built for a few events this summer.
Oh, okay.
So, and I'm like, Warped Tours, those kids don't, and it sold out so quick. So I was wrong on that one.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Well, let me also mention something about Warped Tour that I've always enjoyed. I can't remember the year off the top of my head, but when you started doing reverse daycare, I always thought that was a great idea. Did that ever actually work money-wise for you?
Oh, no, we never charged. No, I gave away over $1 million of tickets a year to parents.
Wow. What I wasn't sure about was I wasn't sure if by giving away those tickets to the parents that the kids coming in would make up for that money.
I think it kind of balanced out. Probably It was but it allowed some of the younger kids to come to the show that might not have had the opportunity.
Okay.
So I think it balanced out. It was a good part of what we were doing.
Right. All right. So now I'm going to switch gears for a second, and we're going to come back to Warped Tour. I wonder, because you're such an expert in what you do, and you've been killing it with Mayhem Fest, Warped Tour, Taste of Chaos, all that stuff. Did you watch the Fire Fest documentaries at
Oh
all?
yeah, I made all my students. I'm a professor at USC now.
Right. Yeah.
And I had all my students watch that, and they had to do kind of give me their feedback and their gut reaction to it. Of course, I was following that along and was just blown away that it even got that far.
Yeah. When you watch something like that and you're being analytical, were you looking at every point where something went wrong and thinking about what you would do in that place?
Yeah. Well, we would have never done something in 4 months like that. That thing needed way more planning, and when they didn't have really the right team involved. I just look at it and go, but the app that they were creating, the Fire app for booking, was actually pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so too. That was the one shining point, but then obviously no one's going to use it once it's associated with that.
Yeah.
That's very true. But I always did like the Warped Tour app as well. So by the way, are you going to be doing something similar for the new Warped Tour dates as well?
God, I got to go talk to Steph. Now that it's all booked, I can start paying attention to a lot of the details,
Very true. All right. So now I know you got to get to the premiere. So I have 3 hopefully quick questions for you. One of them was, obviously you've got your ear to the ground. You know music, you know bands. Are there any upcoming bands right now that you possibly have as favorites? Not necessarily playing Warped Tour, but just bands you have your eye on.
I really liked, when I brought Youngblood on some shows last year.
Sure.
And exposed him to that audience, and I think he's going to become. And it's so nice to see what the Interrupters are doing now after playing a few Warp dates a few years ago and then coming back.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm starting to listen to some new music again.
Oh, okay.
I've been so busy. I'm on the plane. I listen to some stuff, and I don't know. I'm starting to listen to some reggae again.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's been a long winter and I'm ready to go back to the beach for. Even for California, it's been cold.
Okay, gotcha. Well, at least you do have 2 warm, events coming up, so that is something.
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking forward to it.
All right, 2 more questions for you because sure. I am a scene kid and this is what I love, so I have to ask these questions that I know you've been getting a ton of, but I got to do it. So 1, did you ask from first to last to be on Warped Tour?
I don't know. We talked about it last summer.
Okay.
We talked about it last summer, and it just didn't come together. I think that would have been pretty cool. That would have been a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to check on that. And one more band I got to check on. Did you ask to see if Attack Attack would reunite?
I probably didn't, to be honest.
Okay.
There was still going on. That's not a good idea, though. That would have been cool.
I had to check. That's it.
A couple little reunions we're going to announce coming
awesome.
up, though.
Okay. All right. That's going to get people excited. All right. Well, Kevin, I know you got to run off to the premiere. I very much appreciate the time that you took to be on the show. You and your team are responsible for so many great experiences in my life. So thank you very much for Warped Tour. Thank you for everything you do. Much appreciated.
All right. Thank you very much. Take care. Talk to you soon.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Scene Daddy Interviews.
Thank you all for listening to Scene Daddy Interviews. Make sure you support the artists we featured by checking out the summary of the episode. Also, for all your scene news, reviews, and memes, make sure to follow Scene Daddy and Ian Hates on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and don't forget to subscribe and rate Scene Daddy Interviews on your favorite podcast listening app for more great artist interviews in the future.